Hi, thanks for tuning in. I'm here with Elizabeth Zhao and Scott Fifield from Eleanor Roosevelt High School, and they're going to tell us a little bit about Eleanor Roosevelt High School volleyball. So hi, welcome guys.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. So I figured we'd start with a little brief introduction if you guys want to tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to go first?
Okay. I'm Scott Fifield. I started coaching at Roosevelt in 2017. And then a couple of years ago, I added on the responsibility for being the sponsor of the Outdoor Volleyball Club. So I've been doing both back and forth. And yeah, it's been enjoyable, and we've had a fair amount of success in the volleyball program.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Zhao. I'm a junior at Eleanor Roosevelt in the Science and Tech program, and I also play on the Lady Raiders volleyball team.
Nice. Cool. So I was going to say, Scott, you mentioned a little bit your time as a coach at Eleanor Roosevelt. What inspired you to get involved?
Well, I had been coaching elsewhere, and the previous coach approached me one day and said she was ready to leave the program, and we had played against each other, and she asked me if I was ready to coach here in my neighborhood. And one of the things that she said she felt she was frustrated with was she had stopped finding a way to beat Bowie.
Oh, okay.
Throw that out there for you. And so I kind of felt like that was my mission coming in, is to turn that around. I mean, not only is Bowie the main competitor in lots of sports, but for volleyball, they were churning out people that was going on to playing Division I volleyball, and we had talent that I guess wasn't finding a way to beat them. And so one of my top accomplishments is we beat them the first 8 times we played them when I came to Roosevelt. And that really kind of set the tone that we were the new people at the top of the county. And during my time as head coach, we ended up going 63-2 in league matches. And yeah, I'm proud of that.
I'm kind of curious, did you have to play the previous coach for your position?
I had been at St. Vincent Pallotti beforehand, and I knew Eileen Lloyd, and she always felt frustrated that the level of competition in the county public schools wasn't challenging her teams. And so, we were looking for a way to play each other, and so we played once in Laurel and once here. And at that time, we did end up, I think we split the 2 matches, but that was a nice accomplishment for my Pallotti team to beat Roosevelt. I mean, they always had such a gaudy record, and Eileen, I thought, was running a good program. But yeah, like I said, she just kind of felt like she had plateaued. People weren't listening to her message anymore. So it was a nice time for me to come in here. I kind of felt like I had lost the team at Pallotti. Also, it's kind of the same thing where the returning players weren't responding to the way I was coaching. So I came here and they had all this talent, and it was just wonderful for me from a career point of view to now suddenly be coaching players who could do all these volleyball things that the players that I had been coaching at other schools really couldn't pull off. So we went to 2 state semifinals, and that was a highlight of my career, to walk into Ritchie Coliseum at Maryland and for the state semifinal. It was like, wow, this is cool.
I bet, yeah.
So I'm happy with what I accomplished as head coach at Roosevelt. Eileen stuck around for a year and was the JV coach, and that made her happy. That allowed her to kind of phase herself out. I'm glad I ended up coaching 6 years out of 7 because there was no season during 2020.
Oh, right. Okay. So you said you've been a coach since 2017?
Right.
Is that correct? Okay, for Eleanor Roosevelt or just in general?
For Eleanor Roosevelt.
Okay. Wow. Cool. Wow. Well, Elizabeth, I'd like to pass it over to you. How long have you been playing volleyball at Roosevelt?
I've been playing since I was a freshman, so that would be 2023, fall of 2023 till now. I'm now a junior in 2025, yes.
Makes sense. Have you been playing volleyball your whole life?
No, I actually picked up volleyball late into my middle school years. So I actually started by playing or joining a club team my 8th grade year, which really just broadened my view on the whole volleyball world and exposed me to a lot of different teams and players and coaches, and like fully allowed myself to immerse myself into that world and to just expand my skill set.
Awesome. That's really cool. Did you grow up playing other sports as well?
A number of different sports and martial arts, yes.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
What kind of martial arts?
Just like some Shaolin Kung Fu, some fencing, some Jeet Kune Do, some others. Yeah.
Wow.
Just mildly.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And do you feel like any of those sports lend themselves to volleyball?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like another key component to Coach Fifield's like OVC or outdoor volleyball club is that it's important to cross-train. And we heavily emphasize that, especially in martial arts. So I feel like taking my like mindset and training from martial arts to volleyball, it kind of helped me become a better player by practicing with like the boys, for example, that have harder competition or different technique that I'm able to adapt to in game when playing against girls.
That checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a brief stint doing roller derby, and they were always saying cross train. Make sure you're cross training. Are you going home? Are you going to the gym? Are you making sure you're doing squats like all the time? And I definitely wasn't. So yeah, I did not last long. To get back into it.
When I grew up, people played multiple sports, and then there was this turn of, you got to specialize starting at age 10. And, I feel like I use some baseball things in volleyball, and I use some basketball things in volleyball without necessarily even knowing it. It's just an innate movement that I make that I learned in another sport, but it's relevant to volleyball as well.
Yeah.
I totally see that. Just the different transference and almost like muscle memory, but the way it can apply itself in a new way.
Yeah, definitely.
It's pretty cool. Elizabeth, what are your positions in volleyball?
So on the court, I was originally an outside, and then when I moved up to varsity, I got moved around from mainly middle and right side, but now I play right side.
Okay.
Or right side hitter.
Do they keep you mostly in one spot the whole game, or how does that work?
So in volleyball, there's a rule every time you win a point, you have to rotate around the court in a clockwise motion. So you are still essentially playing the same spot. It's just before the serve is served over the net, you have to stay in your rotation spot, if that makes sense.
I think so. For the sake of the interview, oh my gosh, yeah.
And it's unusual for a right-handed person to play the position that Elizabeth is playing. It's a position you typically try to move a lefty into.
Really? Why is that?
Because people like to hit balls that come from the direction that they're looking. And when you're on the right side and you're right-handed, you have to wait for the ball to cross your body entirely.
Yeah.
So you have to show a little more patience. And a lot of right-handers can't develop that level of patience. But this year's team had no left-handers at the beginning of the season, and so plus Elizabeth really showed a talent over there.
Cool, very impressive. Is there ever any like ambidextrousness in the playing? Do people ever, switch hands?
There should be.
Yes. Or like I feel like a highlight memory of my season is we play a couple of scrimmages, which don't count towards the season in the beginning. And I remember we were warming up at Stone Ridge, and Coach Fifield and I were peppering, and he was like, you want to try to use your left hand if the ball comes to that side of the body. So I feel like I've implemented some like left-handed tips when at the net, and I just can't get my right hand around it, especially on right side.
And both Elizabeth and I write left-handed, even though we play sports right-handed.
Yeah.
So we have some left-handed coordination that maybe not everyone else has either.
Wow. So do you feel like Scott was pretty helpful in learning that ambidextrous?
Yeah, I always feel like the tips are really helpful because it allows you to visualize what you want your body to do. Because this is like a key point, I feel like, after my sophomore year, is that I mentally know what to do, but it's about having that coordination and communication to your body to actually act it out and to feel the ball placement in your hands and everywhere on the court.
Very cool. Okay, so aside from your many responsibilities on the volleyball team, I do know you are also the side out ambassador for the Lady Raiders. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So, okay, the Side Out Foundation is a nationwide nonprofit that specializes in research and fundraising for MBC, which is metastatic breast cancer. And every team that's involved with the Side Out Foundation, which means they have registered to have a special Dig Pink game, which is where we have a game themed around the color pink. Mm-hmm. And we fundraise that entire game for metastatic breast cancer research.
That's really cool.
And basically every college and high school in the country seems to do that sometime in October.
That makes sense.
And some of them do an enormous go all in to create a huge fundraising event. And some of them just basically sell concessions that day and donate to Side Out. So our previous efforts at Roosevelt were minimal. And so I was impressed with the larger effort that Elizabeth envisioned this year and pulled off. So she deserves a lot of credit for upping the school's game to raise more money this year.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely seems like something you take really seriously, which I admire. And showing up to the Dig Pink tournament just to catch a little bit, I was very impressed by the turnout, and it looked like everybody was taking it really seriously too, while somehow still having a good time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can share more details on that actually. I feel like historically in PG County, there's not a lot of people who traditionally play volleyball. But recently, I've really been seeing a lot of clubs. Like, I know Bowie High School also had some representation at the Dig Pink tournament.
Oh,
and yeah, they have their own version of outdoor volleyball club since there's no men's league in PG County. But I've just noticed there's a lot more open gyms and a lot of people in PG who want to play volleyball. So it's kind of developed into this culture of renting a gym and then everyone can just have open gym play. So I essentially took that idea and turned it into a fundraising opportunity. Since our Dig Pink game at school got canceled, I just invited everyone to come to the community center so they could still participate, have a good time, and I can still fundraise to help support metastatic breast cancer research.
That's awesome. And good resourcefulness too. It's nice that there's a community center so close to the school that people can just walk over if they need to. And,
yeah.
And that was good thinking on your part.
Oh, thanks.
Can I ask how much money you guys raised?
We raised about 60 in cash and then a total of 80, including online profits.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Especially coming from kids, that's a lot.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So, as the Side Out ambassador, what are all the roles involved in that?
So, to become an ambassador, our main adult contacts, they kind of impress on us that the awareness part is more beneficial than the fundraising component. So, yeah, one of our major responsibilities or duties is to just go around, talk about it, get people to understand what MBC is and how many people are affected by it. So if you go to sideout.org, you can see more information about their mission and where the funds go to support those people with metastatic breast cancer. And I just felt like this was especially important to me because I have an aunt who was a 9/11 survivor but unfortunately passed from metastatic breast cancer and COVID. So I feel like it's really important to empower these women and their stories on everything they endure and what they eventually or hopefully overcome.
Yeah. And doing a little bit of research on Side Out, what I thought was really cool about them is that they have their own team of scientists and researchers.
Yes.
That's really neat. So donating towards them is kind of, it's donating directly towards I think with a lot of nonprofits, people are a little unsure of, okay, where exactly is my money going? But it seems that they're very transparent about that.
Yes, definitely.
For the viewers at home, what does it mean to dig pink? I hear that that's a volleyball pun of sorts.
Well, traditionally to dig is a term used to pass. So let's say you have a hard spiker on the opposite side of the net. If they were to spike downwards and you happen to be there, you kind of make this dig motion because typically you're diving and then you just dig it and the ball gets popped up.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Very cool. I like that.
There's probably some cool pun for basketball to use in February
Yeah.
as well, but I don't know what it is. But
What do you think it would be?
yeah, I don't know. I remember watching University of Iowa during the Caitlin Clark years, and they always had specialized uniforms with names on the back of, family members that had died or struggled with this. But
Oh, that's a
I
good
don't
idea.
remember. It's like Stand Up to Cancer or something like that, or the Jimmy V Foundation, But you don't remember if they had a cool sport-related
Yeah.
term like dig pink, because I like dig pink as a term. It's succinct.
And based on what you're saying too, yeah, the dig move being something that is meant to kind of help keep the ball in the
play.
game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's typically because when somebody's spiking a ball straight down at your face, it's not an easy move most people can do. So I like to think it's a reminder of endurance and overcoming.
That's really beautiful. Wow. I like that. Okay, so yeah, when it comes to your involvement with Side Out, are there any big changes you foresee for the next year, or anything you'd like to see coming in the next year?
In my community, or with the
in the community, and your ambassadorship with the foundation.
Sure. Well, I mean, the ambassadorship typically runs as long as the school season, so that's like September to November. But in the future, if I were to run this event again, my original idea was to have a kind of like a raffle at the Dig Pink game, so people could, donate, and then if you would donate, you would have your name put into a raffle, and then you can earn a gift basket. We had also organized like ideas of giving out roses. Last year we gave out like these survivor sashes and basically had like a moment of silence and recognized anybody who fought and overcome or died to NBC. I also thought in the community we could share my little QR code of fundraising to local businesses and whatnot, so everyone in the community could have a little heads up that this is what we're doing and this is how you can chip in and help the greater community.
That's awesome. Yeah, maybe we can put that here if you want.
Okay.
If you have the QR, we can just when you mention that.
Sure, yeah. I just have to double check because I don't know if they shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know.
It's not October anymore.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's always Awareness Month.
It is.
Is there anything you guys feel like wasn't covered yet that you would want to talk about a little bit more?
Well, one of the grander ideas that you have, I don't know whether you thought it was going to pan out, was you were going to let students at the school kind of
right, yes.
run their own tiny businesses surrounding the
Yes.
Oh, right, the bazaar, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the bazaar.
Yeah.
It didn't materialize, but I still thought it was a clever idea because it accomplished not only raising some Dig Pink funds, but also giving people the opportunity to publicize what they may have been doing as kind of a side hustle.
Yeah. Sure. Like another idea that I had was, since in Roosevelt we have many small businesses, whether it goes to like nails or hair or to bakeries or making small trinkets, I thought either while the Dig Pink game was going on or on a separate date, we can run somewhat of a harvest bazaar, but like NBC themed.
Very cool.
And basically just feature all these small businesses. They can sell their products or services like in little coupon codes. And then if you were to donate to Side Out, then you could like get the coupon code or you can get a little discount off of the product. So yeah, it offers a little publicity to our students' small businesses, which is a token to our community, and it spreads our awareness message.
That's a great idea. And I feel like I know so many, no, that's a lie. I know a good amount of young people who are very interested in entrepreneurship and, being their own boss and, having their own business. And so I feel like there's probably a lot of those at Roosevelt, if I had to guess.
Quite a few.
Yeah. Which is cool. I dig the ambition.
Well, and you know that I'm also involved in the farmers market, and one of the things that we've learned at the farmers market is during the pandemic, people did a lot of baking at home, and then those people had friends saying, "Oh, you should sell what you're baking," right? So suddenly, the farmers market got lots of bakery vendors applying, and so that became one of our challenges: is how to pick the one or two that we want there each week. But if you have this successful business as a high school student, it could also lead to, now that I'm out of high school, I could continue to make like I said, side hustle out of this at farmers markets or other places where I can do something on the weekends while still pursuing my next level of education.
Yeah, definitely. And you never know what could turn out to be a really big thing, what people are really looking for. And also in today's economy, everybody needs a side gig. That's just an aside.
Well, in case the primary gig goes on furlough.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I shoot weddings on the weekend, so. I guess this is a question for you both, but any big goals for the Lady Raiders next year?
This year we made it to the regional semifinals, and we lost to Montgomery Blair.
I think that was the regional final.
Yeah, was it? Oh, regional finals.
Yeah, give yourself credit.
There you go, yeah.
Oh, no, you're right. I'm misremembering. But yes, we lost to Montgomery Blair for the regional finals. I feel like a goal for next year would be, like, this year's group, I feel like we were all pretty tight. And I think we all have a great amount of potential, and we just should work more on communicating more and running more plays so we can really just more offense and then focus on our defense while, if that makes sense, like we have one side of the people doing offense and then we can also practice our defense to play at a higher competition.
Definitely, yeah. Just encourage everybody to be stronger in their roles, maybe.
Yeah, or learn like a different position. It's always helpful to know one or two more positions than the one you play.
That's a really good point. I do find that I've gotten a little bit better as a videographer, the better I got at editing. I was realizing like what I needed from myself behind the camera. So that totally checks out, just, figuring out how to be a better support to your team members by kind of learning what they do.
Well, and she mentioned playing Montgomery Blair. So every 2 years, the regional groupings get regrouped because they look at the updated enrollment lists and they move people around from 4A to 3A, et cetera. And so the last couple of years, Prince George's teams have been in regions with teams from other counties. And in general, other counties have better competition throughout the season. So they're a little better prepared by the end of the season to play tough teams like Roosevelt. And so that was always one of my challenges when I was head coach, is I wanted there to be a couple of tough non-conference matches that got you ready so you weren't, deer in the headlight in November thinking, wow, this is a whole level above. So, Montgomery Blair is going to be in their region again next year, and that needs to be what they've focused on, is how do we overcome that.
Another point to that is with the cross training, because I realized a lot of kids in Montgomery County, they also have a co-ed and a men's league. So they all practice and play together, which I feel like at least has helped me and some other of my teammates who do sometimes practice in co-ed gyms or with men or men's league.
Wow. Yeah.
The men's net is 7 inches higher. So to be an effective hitter, you've got to maybe not jump higher, there's only so high you can jump, but you've got to come up with more skills of moving the ball around the block and how can I roll the ball to vulnerable places on the court, because maybe I can't hit it straight down like I can on the women's net.
Yeah, kind of raising the hurdles for yourself to set higher expectation.
Yeah.
Do So how does it work in the off season? Do you guys still practice often, or?
Well, club season starts in early November, or that's when tryouts are, and it goes until mainly April unless you play at nationals in June. So for girls who play club, the season never really ends. But for those who don't, I guess you can like practice in your off season, and then we typically have workouts in late spring, early summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever see a sand volleyball court? If that could become a court and go, yeah, I'm gonna play this.
Well, I tried to organize something last year, and I got a couple of new girls to come play with me. But I mean, it's not everyone's forte. But I like to keep in mind, like, oh, well, it's only helpful if it's difficult. So it really gave me and some of the girls a chance to, like, practice some other of our skills to play in different environments.
And when I was getting better as a player, playing in sand tournaments teaches you skills kind of like we talked about with playing different sports. It's kind of like a different sport because you can't react to the ball because your feet are buried. So it teaches you that you've got to look at what the opponents are doing and kind of anticipate what they're going to do first. And once you transfer that skill into the hard court, then suddenly you're moving before the ball's hit.
Wow.
So that sand experience teaches you things that I think make you better indoor players, because then you can move on the court. So yeah, I think it's a good experience to continue to play some sand volleyball in the off season.
Cool. Okay. Good to know there's some crossover, because I know there's volleyball and then beach volleyball, and I never know if there's the dabbling in between. So
yeah,
pretty cool. And it sounds like a good workout, because it is hard to.
Oh, it is a good workout. I'm amazed that people can jump and hit in sand, because I never quite mastered that ability.
It's impressive. I know. Watching the Olympics, I'm like, what? They get so much air. Yeah. So, Scott, this is a question for you. I know you just mentioned being at the Ritchie Coliseum with the Lady Raiders a little while back. Do you have any other specific moments of pride from your time coaching?
When I was coaching at some of the earlier schools, like I said, I wasn't really surrounded by a lot of talent. And I felt like other coaches were getting accolades for being great coaches. And I wanted the ability to finally coach some talent and show that I could be successful at that level as well. So yeah, I'm proud of the fact that when I got here and suddenly there was all this talent, that I found a way to use it. And some of it you luck into. The first year that I was here, I think our JV team would have been the third best varsity team in the county, because there was just so much talent in the gym at that point. But we had some people that went on and played Division I volleyball, but we also had some people that were just good high school volleyball players. And Elizabeth mentioned that she's in the science and tech program at Roosevelt, and I found that a lot of Roosevelt's volleyball players do tend to come from that program. And when I first came here, those were the people that were just so anxious to learn. That's just part of them. For 6 hours they learned academics, but then for the next 2 hours they wanted to keep learning. And even though there was all this collection of talent, their approach when they met me was, if you can teach me more, that would be great. And I liked that, because like I said, at Pilates I ran up against people who were like, look, we've heard you enough. And after a while at any place, your voice kind of goes dead. But it was nice to be able to come here, have people accept my coaching. I felt like I helped them get better. I felt like that culminated in 2 straight Final Fours, where they had this awesome experience playing in this really cool facility. I don't know if you were ever at Ritchie Coliseum, but it was probably built in 1930, and it's where the basketball and volleyball teams used to play. But it has 2 decks of stands.
Yeah.
And so that's very unusual for high school kids. So you walk in, you're kind of awestruck at first.
It's just that much huger.
Yeah. But it's a great facility because the 2 decks of stands means there's noise from all over the place. So yeah, it was a great experience being there, and we played competitively against the 2 teams we played there. You know, now they've moved to Hartford Community College, where I've never been, because they're building the Purple Line right next to Ritchie Coliseum, and all the parking disappeared right now.
Oh, wow.
So who knows, maybe it'll move back to Ritchie once that's finally done, but you know, I haven't ventured up to Hartford to watch volleyball. That's a bit of a difficult commute.
Yeah. I live a little ways off Hartford. I'm on Baltimore Avenue right now, and you're not really missing out. Yeah. Just give it a little bit till the construction chills out. So yeah, Elizabeth, being in science and tech, what's your designated field? Like, what's your focus?
Well, in science and tech, there's like 4 main majors you can go into, and I'm mainly focused on being a biology major because I want to go pre-med in college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well, I mean, that originally stemmed from like this.
Pun.
Oh,
nice.
Stemmed from my my aunt who died of MBC, and it's not because the catalyst wasn't because that she died, but it was her life story and like what she represented. Because I still had like 10 good years with her before she passed, and I feel like every time I spoke with her, it was always about how you can make things better. And like, especially in my family, like we emphasize never to quit, and always to, even if you're involved in something you don't necessarily like, you always want to give 110% to be the best that you can be. Because you never know, you might end up loving it. So I really feel like I took that to heart, and I always have it in the back of my mind, even like on the court or off the court. I want to make sure that I can be the best that I can be, but also make everyone around me better.
Yeah, that's great. If you can make that attitude infectious, I think it's a great mindset to have, especially when it comes to sports.
Yeah, definitely.
And science and tech. So yeah, you said you wanted to go into pre-med. That's what you were saying?
Yes. Specifically, I'm interested in genetics and pathology. So I definitely want to see if I could conduct any research to help MBC survivors or those who are currently fighting it.
Yeah. Which came first, if anything? Your interest in pathology leading you to be the sign-out ambassador, or vice versa?
I think, well, I was always really interested in medicine from a young age, or like that's when my aunt like got cancer the same year that I was born. So it's always like kind of like been around me. And I feel like as I got more involved with sports and specifically volleyball, I was actually nominated to become a side-out ambassador. There's only 20 high schoolers who are chosen or nominated to become side-out ambassadors. So my interest in pathology kind of like was lingering a couple years before that, but definitely the side-out ambassadorship kind of prompted me to get more involved and to take a second look at it.
Yeah, that's an amazing correlation right there, I think. And yeah, there's just something beautiful and poetic about that. So it's neat that you take a real interest in it.
Another part, or like kind of like a milestone in science and tech, because of course every year you have your graduation requirements on top of your science and tech requirements. So I feel like a major one is reaching into senior year, or like actually this time of year in junior year, you get to apply to a variety of internships that match up with your major. And of course those comes with prerequisite classes and whatnot. But for my specific interest, I have been looking at the NIH like genealogy internship since like 8th grade.
Wow.
Which is like also when I started to get involved with volleyball.
Yeah.
And embark on this journey. I just feel like it's especially difficult and also especially important to lean on community right now, in times like political and economic turmoil, because it's not only the NIH internship, but many other internships have been pulled, like precious opportunities have been pulled from us because of the government shutdown or other inconspicuous reasons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, tying in with the Side Out Foundation's like mission is to really just bring these issues like into the community so we can like all come together to voice our concerns and to support whatever minority group that might need it.
Yeah, for sure. And to also make sure that these institutions that are generally well-meaning are still intact, which, fingers crossed. But, oof. Yeah, so with the NIH internships no longer being active, where instead are you focusing your attention, or is it just kind of a wait and see game?
Well, it definitely is. It's like we actually got like a ping today saying, "Hey, internship like Q&A is next week."
Wow.
So I've kind of had to replot like my ideal on what my future is in the near future, but I think there's still some internships at UMD, but now if those are the only ones that they're offering, it's going to be extremely crowded. And the main ones at UMD are all engineering. So it's a different field, but it's definitely something I would consider. If not...
Biological engineering?
Well, that's what I'm interested in, like biotech, but I think it's more like mechanical. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure about that. But either way, I like to keep my venues open and like to try different things. Yeah.
Are you thinking of keeping it local, more, University of Maryland College Park, or would you, because I know UMBC, they're pretty techy.
Yeah, I think I heard about that, but through the school, because these internships are only approved through the school, I think they only offer like UMD and College Park, like NIH, and I think they had like the zoo in DC for one of them.
Okay.
But
Cool.
I would have to take a second look at it. Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in that.
Thank you.
I know it's really hard right now, but I hope you can stay strong and keep your eye on the prize, because we definitely need more people like you when, Scott and I become ancient. We need good doctors.
Yes.
So that being said, do you want to talk about college at all?
Sure.
What are your college goals after high school?
Well, it's definitely been on my mind. I hope to, eventually go to med school, and I'm aiming for an Ivy or an Ivy Plus right now for undergrad. And once in college, I want to meet like different or like people with different ideas to really like challenge my own, so I can think. I like thinking from different perspectives, so I can consider things I may have like never even thought before. Which I feel like is beneficial especially in medicine, because you're always learning. It never ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I want to try to like have a couple of research projects and then get some clinical experience. So maybe I can like look into that into some summers, like really anywhere, like even abroad. I'm really open to. And I've actually like been brainstorming some research questions that linger on immunology and genetics. So I want to look into that a little more.
Wow. Yeah, that would be amazing, especially if you get to go abroad. Well, Elizabeth, between your goals in working as a biomedical engineer and what you're doing now with Side Out, and just how good you are at playing volleyball, it sounds like. It sounds like you have a really bright future ahead.
I could always use more work.
Yeah, exactly. But it's honestly kind of been an honor to talk to you. It's
Oh, thank you.
It's really nice to talk to young, ambitious people and just kind of feel like we're in good hands,
It's fun to coach them too.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen her now for 3 years, and her improvement has been astronomical. I told her that if she ends up at a college that she thinks she could play volleyball at, that's part of what she should emphasize is, I'm not one of those people who's been playing since I was 6 years old, but in 3 years, I've really learned a lot. I've really improved. So I don't think I've reached my level of my plateau yet.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm probably not gonna include this in the interview, but I thought it was interesting that you could look up the stats for the Lady Raiders, because I was like trying to figure out your position on the team. So I was like trying to do a little research, and I was like, what is like RS? And then but you get to look at the team, and it has all these different stats on like most like kills or not kills.
No,
maybe
kills.
Yeah.
Kills. Yeah. Okay. Is that what I'm reading? But you were up there at the top at a couple of them, and I was like, okay, hell yeah. And then there's this, pardon my French, but then there's this this other girl. I think her name was like Sanaya. I kept seeing her name, and I was like, all right, nice. Like, looks like you guys got a good amount of MVPs.
Yeah, Soraya Williams is the most
Soraya.
all-around talented person on the
Yes.
team, and she's also a junior.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So they'll have her one more year, but she's looking at some serious Division I schools.
Yes.
And I think she'll fit within them.
What are the Division I schools?
So the Marylands of the world are, but the Ivy Leagues are Division I, II at, we'll call it a less robust level. But you talked Ivy Plus, and so
Stanford is up there.
Wow.
Stanford is a Division I
For
school.
volleyball?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they're one of the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the former players that I coached went and played at Middlebury, also a very good academic school, but playing Division III volleyball. So Division III volleyball, I find, is you're serious about volleyball, but there's a little more acceptance that you can be a well-rounded student while at the school.
Yeah.
So she had the ability to take a semester in New Zealand,
Wow.
and she
Wow.
played college basketball for a year because the volleyball season doesn't last the entire 9 months of the academic calendar at Division III level. So it fit her mentality for what her college experience should be. But my advice to Elizabeth was choose the place you want to go academically, and if volleyball happens to fit into that, great.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Well, cool. I mean, damn, yeah, that's really inspiring. Excited for you. But
Thank you.
well, thank you guys so much again for taking the time to come chat with me about Eleanor Roosevelt volleyball. It's really neat to learn about the sport and see how much you guys have been growing as a team. And Elizabeth, I wish you all the best.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you all for tuning in.